बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं gacchami.
6th century BC was an important era in history. This was the period when a great benefactor of mankind was born and became renowned as Gautama the Buddha. The Buddha rediscovered the path of Dhamma leading to the eradication of universal suffering. With great compassion he spent 45 years showing the path, and this helped millions of people to come out of their misery. Even today this path is helping humanity, and will continue to do so provided the teachings and practice are maintained in their pristine purity. History tells us that in 624 BC, King Suddhodana ruled the kingdom of Sakya. He had two queens, the chief queen was Mahamaya and the younger queen was Mahapajapati Gautami, the sister of Mahamaya. When Mahamaya was traveling from Kapilavatthu, the capital, to Devadaha, her parents' home, to have her first child, she gave birth along the way to a son under a large sala tree in the Lumbini Grove on the full moon day of Visakha. In old age, Asita visited the palace, and on seeing the marks of greatness in the child, first expressed joy and then shed tears. He was joyful at seeing that a great being had come to earth to teach suffering humanity how to eradicate its misery, yet he shed tears because he would not live long enough to be able to benefit from this. 5 days after the birth the name-giving ceremony was held, to which a number of Brahmans were invited. All, except Kondana, foretold, either the child would be the great emperor or an enlightened one, a Buddha. Kondana, however, said quite decisively that the boy would be a Buddha. The boy was given the name of Siddhartha, meaning one whose aim is accomplished. Just 7 days after the birth, Queen Mahamaya passed away, and the young Siddhartha Gautama was then raised by his stepmother Mahapajapati Gautami. As he grew, the young prince preferred solitude and a meditative life to the games and pranks natural for his age. This was observed by his father, who, fearing the prophecy, tried his best to divert the attention of the young Siddhartha towards worldly things, while at the same time shielding him from the sight of any worldly suffering. At the young age of 16, Siddhartha was married to Yasodhara, a beautiful princess. It was his father's hope that she would bind him to the family life. Until the age of 29 he lived the life of a householder amidst great luxury and ease. One day, as Siddhartha was going out in his chariot, he saw along the way a decrepit old man, then a sick man, then a dead body, and finally an ascetic radiating with a glow of peace and tranquility on his face. These 4 incidents made a distinct impression on him. He began reflecting on the misery inherent in existence. At the same time he felt drawn to renounce the world and seek a way of liberation. When Prince Siddhartha and Prince Yasodhara bore a son, Siddhartha saw the event as a bondage and decided to call the child Rahula, meaning an obstacle. Ultimately, however, the child did not prove to be a bondage, as Siddhartha thought it better to renounce the worldly life before his attachment grew stronger. He decided to adopt the life of wanderer in quest of truth. One night, he left the palace along with his attendant Channa. After going some distance he discarded his royal robes and ornaments, giving them to Channa, and then cut off his hair and became an ascetic. He was 29 years of age. For 6 years he wandered in search of truth. First he met the spiritual teachers Alarikalama and Udakaramaputta, and learned from them deep absorption concentrations that were practiced at that time. Despite this practices Siddhartha wasn't satisfied. Although his mind was more calm and peaceful, and now purified to a great extent, still at the deepest level of his mind there remained latent defilements. His mind was not totally pure. At this stage in his search he proceeded to Sananagama in Uruvela. There he practiced rigorous austerities along with 5 other mendicants. By fasting he was reduced to a mere skeleton, Yet total purification still eluded him. As a result of all these experiences, he realized that as the life of ease and physical luxury was one extreme and not the way to eradicate suffering, so also the life of physical torture and severe penance was another extreme. This realization brought him to the middle path. He decided to take food again, and was offered rice gruel by Sujata, a young maid living nearby. At this point his 5 companions left him, as they were still convinced that the path of self-mortification led to enlightenment. Siddhartha continued on alone. On the full moon day of Visakha, after refreshing himself in the Naranjara river, he was drawn towards a pleasant grove of trees. There he sat down with a strong determination not to leave until attaining enlightenment. He spent that night in deep meditation, exploring the truth within, and rediscovered the long-lost technique of Vipassana. Vipassana means to see things as they really are, and not just as they appear to be. In the Brahmajala Sutta he states how he practiced this to achieve enlightenment. Having experienced as they really are the arising of sensations, their passing away, the relishing of them, the danger in them, and the release from them, the enlightened one, O monks, has become detached and liberated. Practicing Vipassana, he penetrated the veils of ignorance, delusion, and illusion. He discovered the law of dependent origination, the chain of cause and effect conditioning the universe. Whatever arises, arises due to a cause. When the cause is eradicated, there can be no resulting effect. Therefore, by totally eliminating the cause of suffering, one can attain real happiness, real liberation from all misery. With this realization, he penetrated the illusion of solidity in mind and matter, dissolved the tendency of his mind to cling and crave, and realized the unconditioned truth. The darkness of ignorance was dispelled and the light of wisdom shone forth in all its brilliance. The subtlest defilements of his mind were washed away. All the shackles were broken. No craving remained for the future, his mind became free from all attachments. Siddhartha Gautama attained supreme enlightenment, experiencing the ultimate truth in all its purity, and became a Sammasambuddha. With the experience of total liberation, the following words of joy came forth. Though countless births I wandered in samsara, seeking, but not finding, the builder of the house. I have been taking birth in misery again and again. O builder of the house, you are now seen. You cannot build the house again. All the rafters and the central pole are shattered. The mind is free from all the sankhara. The craving-free stage is achieved.